Hey, Aloha Offline Sharks. What's up? Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner and co-host Nick Ponte on the call as well. What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday. Excited you're here. We're excited to be here. We have an awesome live show lined up today, separating fact from fiction. Probably going to give away some Cash App money. We're bringing back an old segment just for today. What's Tom reading? Lots of fun. We're going to talk about some free bonuses you can grab by the end of this call. Lots of stuff. So I think what we're going to do is just cue the intro and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Listen to that crowd out there, Nick. They are fired up. That turned off there. Exciting. Aloha. Welcome, Suzette. Welcome, Richard. Devin. What's up, Devin? Welcome, everybody, to the Friday Marketing Live show. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, we are. Lots of stuff going on, man.
Nobody's on the island right now. Nick is hole up in New York for a little while longer. And I'm in Vegas for right now. Hey, Norm. Yeah. Aloha.
Our office is still there. Elle is still there.
The company is still based in Hawaii. The office is still there. People are still there. But we are just other places.
Yeah,
last week we both wore shirts with American flags. Now we both have on black T-shirts. We do not plan this, by the way, just so you
got
guys
the memo.
know.
You clearly got the memo. And I know we're going to get crap about me being on this side of the screen when you're on that side. And you know why that happens? I realized why that happens. When I get here before you, when I get to the waiting room before you, then I end up first. But, clearly Tom is usually here before I am.
Most of the time.
He's on time.
Not today, though, because I was dealing with some furniture stuff that turned out to be an entire joke. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's see. I see Richard says, "Hey, Nick, I was in New York for 9/11 5 years ago." Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Tomorrow, and it's literally so where I live right now. This building it's like on the other side of Broadway, which is 2 blocks from the World Trade. And actually, yesterday I went to go. Tom, I didn't tell you this yet, but I think I'm going to stay here longer. So I went and looked at another apartment, which is actually, if you can believe it, even higher up in this building than this one.
No. And what's that add about another $5,000 to the price tag?
And it's crazy.
It's $1,000 for every floor.
Well, it's just a different, like right now, right? We're looking at the Brooklyn Bridge, City Hall, all that stuff, but it's on the other side of the building where it's like Statue of Liberty, World Trade Center, Wall Street, like it's just the other direction. Wow. But you're looking at the World Trade, and I was up there yesterday, and it was like at sunset, and I was like, man, it's incredible. So anyway, more picks to come.
Wow. Awesome. Well, man, let's dive into some stuff here. So a couple of things I want to do here in the beginning, and just so we can kind of let's do them. That way we can talk some marketing strategy and talk about kind of what our topic is today and some things like that. But I want to start off by doing we're doing our shark shout out. So every week we like to recognize people in the community that share their successes. And this week we have an awesome shark shout out. It is going, hold on, let me share my screen here.
What's up, Scott? I haven't seen Scott for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, good to see you, man. Our shark shout out this week goes to Nash. So Nash completed his second mailer, 10,000 beautiful cards hit the mailboxes last week. His gross sales were $8,110. That's for 21 ad spots sold at a price point of $850, $750, and $650. Pardon me, I got to take a drink here. Throat was getting a little dry. So congratulations, Nash. That is awesome work. And, probably about I bet he probably made around $4,000 or $5,000 in profit off of that deal. I bet.
So cool, man. So Nash came to somebody already said that they saw some of the pictures of the get together we had here in New York City last week. So Nash came to the I don't know, what would you call that? Shark Rally, we'll call it.
Oh yeah, in New York.
Yeah, and I got to hang out with Nash, which is awesome. He showed me the pictures at the meetup of that. Like, my favorite picture is the one where he has all the mailers stacked up this high, and he's like looking over, and you can just like see him.
I saw that one. It was great. Yeah.
And then so here's the other thing. So Nash came and he gave me 2 gifts, which are really awesome. One of which I'm going to be able to show you right now because it's on my desk right now as we speak. I didn't even know. I mean, I had a feeling that Nash was going to be the member of the week, but check this out, everybody. Nash gave me this. It's a circle of focus.
Oh, here, let me stop sharing the screen so it gets bigger. Oh, a circle of focus.
It's a circle of focus.
That's great.
Trying to get it to zoom on it. But
yeah, it's just blurry.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I know you always talk about the circle of focus. So I got one you can put on your desk. So you'll always remember to keep it narrow, right? Keep the circle of focus small. And, we talk about it a lot here in our community. If your circle of focus is small, right? Like, you're only working on one thing, which is getting new customers. And then, you all of a sudden you're on your Facebook feed and you hear about crypto and NFTs and making videos and getting into filming and other types of things. Those are all outside of the circle of focus, right? So you need to keep it very narrow and centered. And then you can be like Nash, who just put out his second mailer that reached, 10,000 homes, 20 new clients, thousands of dollars in profit. And now, when I was speaking with him at the Gansevoort the other night, he's, those are all customers they're his customers now. And he has shown them his marketing skills, right? He said a number of them are getting tons of new clients. And, obviously they know, like, and trust him now. So it really just set him up to, sell other things. And so, I mean, he's got some big things up ahead. Super cool gift that he gave me, Circle of Focus. I love it. It was super thoughtful. Thanks again, Nash. And awesome stuff. Yeah,
that's really, really awesome. And the title of our live this week was Separating Fact from Fiction, right? And we were talking about, one of the things we wanted to talk about on the show was like this idea that if you're going to be learning from people and if you're going to be absorbing information from people out there online doing things, it's important to get that information from people that are actually doing stuff. And for those of you that show up to this live every week, you can see, like, every week we have at least one, but most of the times 2, 3, 4 people that we're giving shout outs to that are using the stuff we talk about inside the Offline Sharks community to get clients and grow their businesses and build the kind of life that they want. Like, Nash is a good example. Last week, we had a few people. The week before, this is over $8,100 in revenue just off of one person. And we don't know about the people in the group that just never really say anything about what they're doing, right? Like, we know they're out there doing things. So, I think that group is just a great example of a place where you can go and actually learn and get things from people that are actually out there doing stuff, right? They're actually out there doing it. They're having success. They're more than happy to share with you and everyone else what they're doing that's working. And it's really motivating to me to see that stuff. It gets me fired up. But it should be motivating and awesome for you to see that stuff too. And get up that courage or build up that momentum to try it in your area, right? So congratulations again, Nash. Really, really awesome.
Congrats, Nash.
Yeah. That's cool. One other thing I want to do is I'm going to do a little segment here that we haven't done in a while, and it's called What's Tom Reading? So in this segment, I recommend a book that I've been reading, and you can find all the books we've ever recommended here on the show at offlinesharks.com/books. We've got them kind of categorized there. There's lots of good ones in there. This is one that I had never heard of, but it kind of ties into our topic today, which is why I picked it. I don't know who the guy's name is. And it's not, it's a hardback book. It's not expensive. It was only like $13, but it's by a publishing company called Farnham Street. And this one is called The Great Mental Models, Volume 1, General Thinking Concept. So I don't know. Can anybody on the stream tell me, are you familiar with what a mental model is? Does anybody know what a mental model is?
If somebody gets it, should we give them some money?
I ran after that furniture truck. That's why I'm coughing, because I'm not in the best cardio shape. And I'm like, yeah, they have a blog. Let's see. Does anybody know what a mental model is? If not, no big deal.
No big deal. No big deal.
I'll talk about it. So
visualizing? Is it visualizing?
It's not really visualizing. It's not really visualizing. A mental model is just, it's basically, I don't really see it. We'll give Cash App money away for something else.
Oh man.
Yes, there you go. Norm Thomas.
Norm.
Yes. So if you've ever, there's a lot of books. This has been a real kind of like popular topic about this kind of stuff, like with the guy that wrote like The Black Swan and Anti-Fragile and Skin in the Game. I forget his name. There's also another guy that has a book called Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow. There's been a lot of people talking about these concepts of how sometimes they may be called biases, right? Where we look at the world through a certain model, a certain way, and it helps us to make decisions. And a lot of the times we don't know that we're using this mental model. Like, it's a thing we've constructed that helps us deal with reality, but it's not really reality, right? So mental models can be a great way to help you solve problems quickly and get answers. Where people tend to go wrong with them is thinking that the mental model is the reality, right? But it's just a model. It's not actual reality. So you have to be aware of the mental models that you're using in your everyday life or your business life, and also really look for spots where they start to deviate from reality to make sure that you're making decisions based on the reality, and you're not being biased or making a decision that might not work in this particular situation, right? Pardon me. So this book, The Great Mental Models, is an introduction to the big ones. And there's a couple of other volumes. There's another volume to this that's a lot thicker, but I think this is a good one to get people started. But what's really great about it is in the front, they talk about acquiring wisdom, general thinking concepts. There's like the map is not the territory, right? And then they go through these, the circle of competence. Nick, you'll love the circle of competence. That's about, focusing in on what you're good at, knowing what you're good at, and then structuring everything around you so that you're only doing what you're good at, and that other people are doing the other things, right? Or like you're getting help with the other things. There's first principles of thinking, and then they go through all these mental models like second order thinking, probabilistic thinking, inversion, Occam's razor. These are just really, I guess what you would say, like the big ones that have been developed out over time, right? And each chapter is a little section on these models about where they came from. There's some quotes, but a very, very interesting book. It's not necessarily business specific, but these concepts and principles that they talk about in here can be applied not only to business, but anything in your life. I am a big fan of philosophy. Like, I love reading about philosophy. I love thinking about philosophy, talking about it. This is kind of in the same mold. It's just these are just concepts that are, I think, good to know, that will expand your mind, open up your thinking, help you start to really see like, oh, maybe there's more out there than what I first suspected, right? And at least that's what it's done for me. So the book's called The Great Mental Models, Volume 1. You can get it on Amazon. Go to offlinesharks.com/books. Like I said, it was only like $13. It's a really nice hard copy. The other volumes deal with like the other volume is like mental models in science. So the popular mental models in physics, different things like that, which I don't know how interesting that's going to be, but this one right up my alley. I think you guys should read it. It's a good one. And the reason I picked it for today, is because, mental models are a way to separate fact from fiction, right? They're a tool that we can use as long as we know how to use that tool effectively, right? And this book does a really good job of just not only explaining what they are, but also what the pitfalls are of using mental models, how to make sure that you're using them in the correct way, and how to guard yourself against, falling into traps or getting into trouble by using mental models that aren't matching up with reality, right? So I think a really important topic and good for people to start to kind of study and open themselves up to, and a great introduction to that.
I can think of several that don't really haven't really served me that I have, subscribed to for a length of time, probably too long, and then held me back. One of which, thinking that and maybe some of you are feeling this right now. Let me know if you are, where you're in your business, you're in your agency, you're doing various things that need to get done, but you feel like there's nobody else out there that's going to quite do them as well as you. So maybe you're not hiring. Maybe you're not looking for a web developer. Maybe you're not looking for a copywriter. Maybe you're not looking for a salesperson because you feel like nobody's going to represent your brand. They're not going to know what to say. They're not going to communicate it in the way that you would. Therefore, you don't even look. Therefore, you don't even start to look. And I can tell you, for me, personally speaking, this has held me back a number of times, and almost in different roles. It's not even specific to actually finding somebody or knowing that somebody's out there in general. It can be for a web developer. At first, I didn't think I would be able to outsource to a web developer. Does anybody feel that way? You just don't think it's possible? There's no trust. It's going to be too expensive. It's not going to get done. Maybe you have some of these objections. These are a frame, like Tom is mentioning, that aren't actually real, but you tend to convince yourself that they could be real, and we're going to say something. Cough. And then the other thing is moving over to different positions, right? It could be a salesperson. It could be, and I've done this with web developers. I've done this with copywriters. I've done this with salespeople. I've done this with people that run ads. Each and every time I felt like nobody else is out there. Nobody's going to be able to do it like I'm able to do it. But it's not true. It's not true. They're out there. It's really a matter of looking past what your bias is, I guess. Right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a big part of it. We all have those kind of limiting beliefs, those things that just sort of hold us back from taking action. And I think where these mental models really come in to help with that is a lot of, we talk to a lot of people, right, Nick, who they know what to do, but they're always at this road of I just don't know where to start, right? I'm just they're kind of paralyzed because they don't know where, maybe they have thoughts you're talking about, I don't think I can give this up. I think this would be expensive. I don't think it's possible to get a client without knowing how to do this. There's all these limiting things that go there. What the mental models really allow you to do is they give you a framework to start getting to an answer, right? So when you're in a place where you're I just don't know if this is I don't know how to solve this problem. Usually you can find some type of model, especially if you can identify someone who solved the problem before you, right? Mm-hmm. If you can find someone who's had this same problem and solved it, you want to look at their model and go, okay, how did they solve this? What were the steps they took in that, right? And that will, at least it gives you a place to start. It may not work exactly the same way for you because your situation may be slightly different. You may bring different things to the table, whatever. But it at least gives you some place to kind of start and go, okay, here's somebody who solved this problem and this is how they solved it, right? And so at least you can move forward with that. And then, in fact, if you guys have seen what we've been talking about in the emails this past week, we had this local leak leads, and it was basically it's several trainings that we did that are based on actual interactions with clients, right? So they're case studies, really. I don't know if they're trainings. They're really case studies. So we have a case study about how to do a sale, a recording of a sales call with a breakdown, some other case studies as well that we put together with interactions that happened inside the agency. And, we did that because a lot of times it really helps to clarify things for people when they can see an actual example from a real situation, right? They're not things that we didn't hire people to act them out, right? We just said, okay, here's a call with a client. We asked them if we could record it. We recorded it. And then we made that into a little case study so you could kind of hear what we say, how we say it. Again, give you a model of what we're actually doing, right? To help you kind of break through maybe what might be holding you back and see like, oh, this isn't as complicated as I originally thought, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Tom. I'd like to ask everybody who here feels confident with their current client interactions. Like, let's say a client were to call you right now. Would you feel comfortable telling them about your products and service and bringing them to a sale? Put a 1 if yes, put a 2 if no. And the reason I ask that is because, a little story for everybody, when it came to meeting customers in person, talking them through a sale and going to their office and explaining what I offer, I was uncomfortable with that in the beginning. Tom probably can remember this. And yeah. I didn't really get comfortable until I did kind of a ride along a few times with Tom. Tom and I would go to different meetings with people that he would get from BNI, and we'd wear our Aloha shirts, and we'd show up, and he would wear an Aloha shirt. I wouldn't wear a Aloha shirt because I feel like it's cliche because I'm from Hawaii, right? But now in New York City, I got all the Aloha shirts, and people were like, man, where do you get those shirts? Anyway, so we go there, and I'd hear Tom speak to our prospects. What are you looking for? This is what we offer. These are the objections. This is how he overcame the objections. And me just like being there, hearing that stuff, I was like, oh, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Because I have been there on the phone or in person where we talk about pricing. We talk about what's included. And I don't know about you guys, but some of that stuff, I don't really know some of the answers to, especially in the beginning. The stuff that I don't know the answers to could really change the direction or the energy of your interaction, right? If somebody says, I don't know, let's what's included in your search engine optimization package. You don't really know what's in SEO packages, and you just, subscribe to somebody telling you to go out to somebody's office and sell them $1,000 per month SEO package. That could be a little unsettling, right? When you first tell them it's $1,000 and they're like, okay, well, what's in that exactly? You don't really know. I mean, well, what do you say in that situation? So having these little things, these little, I guess they're a different hand that you can play, right? Hearing objections, hearing the conversation, hearing the delivery of pricing, of products and all that stuff. If you look at any good coach, doesn't have to be in digital marketing or info product space or any of that stuff. But if you look at any good coach, really the reason you get a coach is because you get somebody that is like, 10 levels ahead of you. And you get that person because they've, been through all the levels you're at. And when you are facing level 1, you're faced with a set of circumstances that your coach can give you 3, 4, 5, 6 different solutions to those issues. And a good coach just has, 5, like I said, 5, 6, maybe 7 different hands that they can give you to overcome some of these things. Whereas you being a newbie or beginner or not well-versed in whatever it is you're doing, you only have one option that you know of in the back of your mind, or maybe you have none, or maybe you have 2. But if you have a good coach or you have somebody that you can model or follow that has experience, they're going to give you 5, they can give you multiple angles that you can, implement for yourself. Obviously, it's going to shortcut your time.
Yeah. Sorry there, Nick. I don't know, man, my throat is like super dry.
No worries, man. You need some sleepy time tea. You need to take a little power nap.
Maybe I do. I might need to go get another tea here in just a minute. Devin Atkins, somebody said, oh, this is pretty good. Bermuda shorts.
If you do need to go, Tom, I can take some of these questions.
Yeah,
and I can
give me one quick second. I'm just going to go grab some tea. I'll be right back.
No worries. Somebody said that I had a client tell me he didn't know what I did. He just wanted the goal and the outcome. And that's exactly what I tell people, right? I find myself oftentimes speaking to prospects and customers, and I'm like, we convert your paid traffic into an acquisition, right? They don't know what that means. Like, business owners don't know what that shit means. So I have to dumb it down for them, right? And you just have to give them the end result. You have to say, if they say, what do you do? Like, well, we help businesses just like you get customers. They know that, right? They know what that means, whether that's through ads, whether that's through SEO, whether that's through websites, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're giving them a solution to get more customers, and that's what they're buying from you. So all of our calls almost always start with, unless we're doing something specific, a discovery situation finding out more about a business, getting on the phone. We have a consultative approach to speaking with prospects and customers, seeing what their issues are, and giving them solutions, which kind of move them into a sale, right? I'm not I don't hard sell people because I don't know how to do that. And I don't really like it. Like when people try to hard sell me, it has like the opposite effect and I get really upset. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but for some reason that's what happens to me. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go, right? You just offer solutions.
Based on what they need, right? That's why I think the discovery calls are so important. And listening, I hear so many people talk about like, oh, I had this call with this client and I told him I did this. And it's like, those calls really, like the key to those calls is just asking the client what they're trying to do and then listening to their answers, right? Because most of the time when you do that, you go, oh, I can help with that. Like, oh, I know a way that could maybe, help them get traction with that. It's not really about what you offer or what you're trying to sell. And sometimes you can't help them, but maybe somebody who can, right? And you say, hey, look, like, I don't know that I can really help you, but I know a guy who does this that I think might be of help. Do you want me to connect you with them?
And I saw, when I asked the question, put a 1 if, I think I said 1 if yes. So I think I said, put a 1 in the chat if you feel comfortable. If somebody were to call you right now, put a 1 in there if you'd feel comfortable getting on the phone, explaining your, asking them questions, figuring out what their issues are, and then possibly prescribing them a solution. And 2, if not. And, I see a number of people, this person is, I don't know who they are, but, Art, Norm, a few people that, aren't really comfortable. And what I would say to that solution is really just, and I know Norm is in our partnership program right now. So he's taking huge strides in this very moment. Sean says 1.5. But the best way that I know how to do that is just do what I did, right? I went for the ride along with Tom, with other people, and the more that I do that, and I still do that till this day. Sometimes it's just in different things, right? When I made a real estate purchase a while ago, I mean, I would go with other realtors to go look at houses, right? I would bring a realtor with me and they would tell me like, hey, this is a good deal. This is why it's not a good deal. This is how you approach the negotiation. These are the things, right? So the best way to do it, I call it a ride along. You can also call it a case study. We have, how many of them, Tom, do we have available right now? Which
I think there's 4 of them on there.
Gotcha. So for those who don't know, we give out case studies every single month in our Shark Alliance. They're called In the Trenches trainings, right? And, I actually just shot a great one the other day of raising my price on a customer that was already paying me $3,500. I think I raised my price on them to $5,000 a month, which it's pretty aggressive, right? A lot of people will be like, why'd you do that? It can be kind of a scary thing. You could lose them completely, but there's a process to doing that. And what I did was I mapped it all out. I did it. I raised the price. He said, yes. I documented that whole process. I put it in these In the Trenches trainings. And that's how we give our membership students some ride along. So those types of topics, those types of case studies, I think we have 4 of them right now on a special sale for like $27, Tom?
Yeah, so there was a product that just launched on Tuesday. It's called the 3-step lead generation. And one of the things that we wanted to do was put together a killer kind of bonus package for it. So let me just show you this here real quick. We put together this bonus. Show you this. So we call it local lead leaks, right? And so we're just going to give you for free a bunch of these kind of case study ride-alongs that Nick's talking about. So we've got one on foot in the door, how to find an offer that sells, right? Like foot in the door is a huge strategy we use. So this one is about how to find one that works for you, right? We have one on the secret sauce, Nick's secret sauce to upsell his marketing approach. That's a really good one. We have also got a landing a $2,000 a month client. So this was a recording of the sales call. You hear the whole thing. Nick breaks it down.
And that's for a Google Ads client, right? I think I sold that customer. That's a $2,000 per month customer that I sold. So if you yet to have any residual income, you've never sold somebody on a recurring service. I remember when we were just selling websites, one-off services, I hadn't entered the realm. Tom, you remember that? We hadn't yet entered the realm of recurring. And we were like, how do we get ongoing money coming in? How do we sell these monthly services? What does that look like? How do you even communicate the value? People are going to be nuts to give you their credit card and bill them every single month automatically. Well, that's not true. That's one of those, what were they called again?
That's a limiting belief, right?
Limiting belief.
That's a limiting belief.
But that belief, I mean, it gives you that lens that you look through things of. And anyway, so if that's you, that's a great case study right there. It's worth the $27. I don't know anybody else doing these kind of trainings because most people don't have clients. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a great training and totally worth the price of the whole thing, in my opinion. And fortunate for everybody on this call, Hawaii is like a single consent state where if you record phone calls in Hawaii, only one person out of the two that are speaking over phone calls has to give consent to record the call, which in my case is me. So you all get the recordings.
Yeah, this one is a ride along on how to close a digital marketing consultation for $150 an hour, right? So getting paid $150 an hour just to consult, right? No actual services to deliver there. So yeah, all of that stuff. And you get it free. All you do is pick up this course, 3-step lead generation, which is good in and of itself. And you get all those bonuses delivered instantly. So an awesome little package. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and I'm going to put a link in here for you guys too. Yeah, so,
Patrick says, what, those gurus that don't have clients? Yeah. Speaking of separating fact from fiction.
Yes. It's so I was just on the phone with somebody the other day and I made this joke and I thought they were never going to stop laughing. I asked them, this isn't about local marketers, but I was like, how do you get an affiliate marketer off your front porch?
How?
You tip them for the pizza. I was like, because most of those people out there teaching you how to make money with affiliate marketing have never made a dime. They like have a job as a pizza guy. Like, and the person was laughing so hard. They were like, you don't know how close to the truth that is. And I was like, yes, I do. That's why I made that joke.
Yeah. And it's, you know, what's even funnier about that, everybody that's with us, is Tom and I have generated millions of dollars in affiliate marketing. We've never talked about affiliate marketing once.
Yeah.
Not once.
We don't ever talk about it.
You can't ever find a single product from us about affiliate marketing.
And this is why you just have to be careful when you're out there, right? You want to find people that are really showing you what they're doing on their day-to-day basis, not just constantly bringing you other offers. Because there was, like, I remember back when I was first trying to get into local marketing and I was buying a lot of products on Warrior Forum. There's a guy that used to be on Warrior Forum. He's not on there anymore. I don't even remember what his name was, but he was selling courses on Warrior Forum on how to make a lot of money being a local marketer. But his day job was he was a barista at Starbucks.
Nice. Like,
that's what he did full time. Like, that's how he made his money. And then he would sell these products on Warrior Plus. So just, I would say, like, just pay attention, like look at their communities, look at what they're talking about. Like, I mean, I get, like, look, we're, Offline Sharks is a business, right? Like, we bring you guys offers, like the thing we're talking about this week in the email, we put together bonuses. But when you look around at everything we have going on in our community between the live shows and the Facebook group, and a lot of the other stuff we do, right? Like, you can see that we're actually doing this stuff every day. Like, we show you what we're doing. Like, we don't hide it. So, if you see people that are, not doing that, just be careful.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean,
we don't need to shame anybody, Nick.
But it would be funny. It would be funny.
Like on Game of Thrones at the bell, ding, shame, ding, shame.
Yeah. I saw that Dorn said that he wants to switch to consulting in general rather than services. And I mean, Tom got offered $1,000 to consult for how long, Tom? 1 hour?
An hour.
1 hour. He got offered $1,000 to consult for 1 hour. And I think that is something that a lot of us sleep on. I would argue that everybody on this live stream, just because you're in our Facebook group, you spent, a number of hours looking at this stuff, interacting with us. hearing Tom and I talk about this stuff on this live stream, I mean, even the stuff that we've just talked about the limiting beliefs and outsourcing and just by us being where we're at, telling you that there are people out there that you can hire that can help you with web design, SEO, running ads, sales, all that stuff. And because you trust us, you know that we're telling you the truth. That alone is huge, right? You have so much. I mean, that gives you so much information. I can't tell you how many times people that I know outside, like from my childhood, hit me up and they're like, "Can you get people to like, build websites in other countries?" Like they don't know that it's a thing, right? They don't know at all. Like we have such a leg up. We know so much more than 99.9% of the people out there with this stuff. And you can get paid for that information. And it really is about how you position yourself and how you, I guess, just walk the walk and talk the talk, right? So one of the things that I would say to that is, if you're curious about that, you should totally go check out that. It's the number 4th bonus on that page, how to close $150 an hour digital marketing consultation, where you get a recording of me actually selling it. So that can help you out too.
Carolyn says, and I say her name wrong because my mom's name is Carolyn, and we were on the webinar the other day, and I kept saying her name wrong. So I apologize. I know I just said it wrong there again. But said I don't feel like I have enough of a track record to consult yet. And I know you feel that way, but I would make an argument that you're probably not correct in that feeling. Like that feeling is not a fact, right? Because I know even people that have really successful brick and mortar businesses, most of them have no clue about the things that you know about just by being involved in digital marketing, right? Most of them have no idea about autoresponders, about why you should need an email list, how to even put it, like telling them that they could put together an email sequence to sell something over 4 days. They'd be like, what? Like they don't get that, right? So there's a lot of information that you have that you're probably you just take it for granted, because you see it every day, that most businesses don't know. I mean, look at Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels, right? Like that whole thing is him teaching regular business owners how to do internet marketing, right? Like, and there's not really, like that's it, right? They don't know about internet marketing. He's showing them how to do internet marketing to the brick and mortar business. So you have more knowledge than you're probably aware of. Somebody asked something about, did that guy use video presentations? I don't know who this is or what you mean by that.
He's talking about the barista with the WSOs.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think so.
Somebody said that they probably bought his stuff.
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I did. Yeah.
I forgot to mention that I believe that case study, everybody, in that Leaks bonus package is where I sell the consultation through email. So a lot of this stuff that we do is really through email, right? When somebody asks, about something, you can transition the conversation like, well, I know you want a website, or I know you want to run ads, but maybe that's not what you need. Maybe that's not what you need. Maybe we should do a little bit of a consultation to figure out what you need, and then we can go from there. And so you can transition your emails into these sales too. So it's another way that you can direct things. So that might be helpful to you as well.
Yeah. ClickFunnels is getting big now. Somebody said, I didn't see ClickFunnels new acquisitions. Did you, Nick?
No. Did they buy a new company?
Yeah. I'm curious about that.
No. Somebody said that they bought the front end from somebody else a few days ago. And if they buy the OTO from our link, can they get our bonuses? Sure. Why not? Somebody just bought twice for the bonuses. I mean, it's $27. If you want our bonuses and you haven't gotten them, go ahead and grab them. I mean, if you've bought it from somewhere else, it's totally worth it. But I want to answer any questions that people have, Tom, about our businesses being in the trenches, or maybe obstacles that they're facing, and how we can help them. If you're on this call right now and you have one obstacle in your business, what is it? Maybe you could stick that in the chat for us.
I see Cameron's helping him out there.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for those questions to come in. There was something in here that I meant to read it when we did it, and I forgot. So this was like in the book that we talked about earlier, and the quote at the front of the Acquiring Wisdom chapter is really good. He says, "I believe in the discipline of mastering the best of what other people have figured out." And that was by Charlie Munger. Do you know who Charlie Munger is?
Warren Buffett's partner.
Yeah.
At Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, he's a guy that talks a lot about this, mental models and stuff like that. But yeah, a great quote. Okay, I see some questions coming in, Nick.
So Wayne says that ClickFunnels acquired Doodly, Toonly, Voomly. Smart. I mean, eventually when you build a big enough company, you just start buying other companies. It makes sense.
Dorn said, yeah.
People dealing with unreasonable expectations. I mean, man, that's just life, right? That's just life. But I would agree, Dorn. I know that can be a total pain in the butt. My rule of thumb, and I know, Dorn, you already know this, but I like to set the expectation so low, like so unbelievably low. Like if you're selling search engine optimization, right? Here's an example. If you're selling them search engine optimization, tell them that and that you can bring you're going to get some long tail keyword rankings for somebody within a few weeks. Tell them it's going to take 6 months. Tell them it's going to take a year, but at least that way they know they're set up for that. Right. And then when you come in ahead of time, they're stoked. And if it takes 6 months or if it takes a year, then I mean, that's what they were set up for, right? That's what they were expecting. So I always try to set it low. If I'm building a website for somebody and I know I can build it in 3 weeks, I tell them it's going to take 2 months. Tell them it's going to take 2 months. And then I come in and build it at 3 weeks. And if something happens and it takes 2 months, then they knew that, But yeah, the other thing too is how do you feel about this, Tom? When people come at you with unrealistic expectations, how do you diffuse that situation?
Well, there's two things you have to get over in that situation. One is this fear kicks in that you're not going to get them as a client, right? And you're somehow missing out. You have to just let that fear go and be okay with not getting them as a client, because the chances are if they're coming at you with that and you try to go along with that, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? So the first thing is to just realize when that happens, that's a red flag. That's not your time to try to talk. You don't want to try to bend over backwards to get the sale. You look at that and go, oh, that's a red flag. I need to be upfront, honest with them, and then see how they respond. And they either adjust their expectations or they don't. And if they don't, then you just move on and say, hey, look, that's just not I don't think that's realistic. And I don't think it'd do us any good to work together. You have to be willing to walk away. Right. I mean, that's from my side. How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, I agree 100%. You have to be willing and know when to walk away. Dorn said that he had a discovery call with a guy that demanded page 1 rankings in 2 weeks. And he just laughed at him and ended the call, which is pretty funny, because if somebody says that, then you have to, if you want any chance at salvaging the relationship, you could just hang up and leave. That's fine. Or the solution to that, or the attempt that you could make to having a solution for that, is by saying, well, anybody that tells you that is probably lying to you. And I would run from anybody that ever tells you that, because it's not possible. But if you want something that's realistic, here's the type of results we can provide for you. Within 6 weeks or within 6 months, we'll be able to have some traction in some of these more competitive search terms for you. And if that doesn't fall in line with what they're looking for, then yeah, you probably shouldn't do business with them, because you're setting yourself up for a refund. You're setting yourself up for a headache. You're setting yourself up for stress. But I know that when we don't have a lot of clients and we're looking to get as much money as we can because our back is against the wall, maybe you need rent, maybe you need to pay your car payment. I know you're trying to take on any customer that you can, but sometimes you really, more than sometimes, all the time, one of the most important things that you can learn to say in business is no, is no. And Tom and I say no to stuff all the time. We have to. If we didn't say no to clients, if we didn't say no to affiliates, if we didn't say no, I mean, our business wouldn't be where it's at. You know what I mean? So you have to know when to say no, because you could really screw things up. You could ruin your momentum. You could ruin your reputation, which is it's all important, right? So you have to think about that type of stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. Jacqueline had a good question here about getting more money for my services.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that is a great question. So Jacqueline, what I do, and I'll give you kind of the skinny on without, I could go on this for about an hour, but in short, that customer that I raised to about a $5,000 a month retainer, what I did was I sent him an email and I basically said, hey, company, and you can do this with a letter or handwritten letter, whatever you want, a video. And I basically said, these are the awesome things that we've done this last month. And I did this at a time where we sent them our monthly reporting. So I'm like, here's how many customers we sent you this month. Here's how many impressions you got. Here's, all the jazz of all that stuff. And then I said, beyond all that stuff we're already doing, we're looking to do even more for you. We want to do more, but it's becoming, our business is growing in a way where we need more help. We need more help because on top of doing all that stuff for you, we're also sourcing top level talent to help us execute your campaigns. We're doing all these things. You want to list out all the other things we're providing, continued education to our employees. We're, remind them. Sometimes you just need to remind them because they don't even know, right? They just get this report from you each month and they don't even know what you do. And it could be a matter of like, we're managing all your ads. We're removing all the negative keywords. We're putting them on the blacklist so we don't show your ads for those things. We send you monthly reporting. We sent, all those things, anything you can think of, make it a long list. And then just tell them, we want to do even more than what we're doing now and what we're already providing you. Therefore, we need to raise our price to this amount in order to continue doing that and providing you with that level of service that we have provided you for, this time. So that's pretty much what I do. When I raise a price on somebody, I just remind them. First, I don't do it just randomly. I do it at a time where we've already produced excellent results for them. And it would be more difficult for them to stop working with us than just giving us more money, So you have to make sure you do it at the right moment and then just tell them everything you're doing. And that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. I think another thing too, Jacqueline, to consider is like, it can be a little more difficult too, to raise your services to existing clients. So, one thing that we've done in the past too, is just like the next client that we quote, we just raise the price a little. Like sometimes maybe you just have that mental block that I just don't think I can charge more. Well, like prove yourself wrong. Like the next time you quote a price, like come up with the price that you want to quote them and then just add $200 to it and tell them that price and just see what they say. Like a lot of times you're surprised and they don't even flinch, right? But it helps get you out of that mindset that like, oh, it's only worth a certain amount, right? The other part of that too is spending more time vetting the types of clients that you approach, the prospects that you're reaching out to, right? Like you're never going to be able to raise your prices if you're always reaching out to businesses that only have $1,000 to spend. Does that make sense? Right? So like a lot of times raising your prices is about not so much about changing like anything you're doing necessarily, but about going after a better quality of client, which may take longer, right? It may be a little more of a learning curve to figure out how to get in with them. But like doing more pre-qualifying of the people you're reaching out to so that you, A, know that you're going to ask more money and B, know that they actually have a budget to afford it, right? So you may spend a lot more time vetting people and never talking to them because they're not in the budget, right? Like you say, hey, go fill out my discovery form. They fill it out and their budget's $500 to $1,000. Like you don't talk to that client. You just say, hey, I'm sorry, that's not in a range where I can help you. But you just wait for those people that have the budget ranges that you need.
Here's another pro tip on that too, Jacqueline, is when you perhaps you find yourself in the situation where you give somebody a higher price point, right? My recommendation was about raising your price on somebody that you already have an agreement with. But Tom, I think Tom is right in that you were looking to just raise your prices more in general. So what I like, I mean, when you pitch a price point to somebody and they're like, yeah, that's kind of out of our budget right now. So this is an example of somebody who knows and has had experience closing hundreds of clients. This is something that I can give you, right? Because I have experience in this, much like all the case studies that you get on the bonus at the link below. But what you can say to that is, well, maybe you could give me a little more idea of what your budget is. And I'm not saying that because I want to charge you your entire budget, but I really want to help you. And if you only have a specific amount that you can afford to build this website or, run these ads, at least I'll know that I can do something for you within your budget to at least get you started. And they'll be like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I only have $800. And then in that case, you just build them a one-page landing page, right? Or you just offer to do, instead of writing 5 content articles for their website that month, like, well, I'll do 2 a month. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. And, when you're just getting new and you don't have like tons of leads all the time, you might have to think outside the box a little bit and figure out how to adjust things in real time to make it work for them and for you.
I like this comment.
I bet you do. I like the one about somebody saying that
there's no fun
shirts today.
Yeah, no, we're the Men in Black. Yeah.
Here's another thing, you guys, that is really good that I've noticed is think back to when you did your first sale, when you got your first customer, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you sold. Actually, I'm curious what you sold. Put what you sold in the comments. For me, it was a website. What was your first customer, Tom?
Gosh, my very first customer. Holy cow. I forget. I think she was a CPA.
And what'd you sell her? Like some type of marketing or a website
design?
A website. Okay.
Design, yeah.
So think back. Everybody do this exercise. Think back when you approached your first customer. Cameron said mailer ad. Norm said website. And think about how your delivery of that sale was, that experience, right? You didn't have a lot of confidence, I would imagine, because you didn't do any of these sales. You didn't fulfill the product. You didn't fulfill the service. So you didn't have a lot of confidence because you had the lack of experience. And the way that you delivered that is very shaky, right? It's not, when you're very confident in something, you can stand on higher ground and offer a higher price point because you're so confident in that what you're going to do for somebody, they're going to be happy with the outcome, right? But when you don't really know, you're kind of more reluctant to be like, okay, well, it's going to be $500 because you're going to be on the hook for that. And it could be a little more difficult. So that being said, when you get confidence, you build 5 websites, you get 5 customers, you get more confidence, you're able to transfer that level of experience and expertise through however you're selling, right? You're so confident in your abilities, you can almost guarantee the result and it's predictable. When that happens, that's when you start closing more people, right? That's when you start going from, you talk to 10 people, you might close 1 in the very beginning, right? And then you do 5, 10 websites, you get it out of the way, you know what you can expect, you hone your processes, you talk to 10 more people, you close 5 out of those 10. So your confidence builds, your closing skills build, and eventually you can close like 8 out of 10. That's when you need to raise your price. That's when you need to raise your price because your level of skill has met what the market is willing to pay for your level of skill. And as you become more and more and more of an expert, you need to keep raising your prices more and more and more and more. So I hope that made sense.
No, that makes total sense. One thing I was going to say, the analogy that I used to use about the budget thing too was like, I always like used a house because I think because you can tell people like, look, like when you go to build a house, like you need to know the budget because like if your budget is 1, we can build a very basic house or we can build the nicest house on the block, right? Like there's a lot of variation in between. So the idea of knowing your budget isn't about being able to charge you more. It's to give me an idea of what we can actually do, just like you said, Nick, which I think is good. Norm said, I said I will do anything for $500. I ended up with 2 months of heavy work. Got a bonus after. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Oh, we need to one thing we need to do. Did you see that? Which one are you looking at?
Raving Metrics for the win. He doesn't show up at all until the very end of the stream and says, "My first sale was a kitten when I was 7."
Yeah, that's awesome. Nick, we need to do this. We need to hold on. It's so funny that somebody put that in there because I was just getting ready to play.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Cheating, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Last week we didn't play that song at all last week. And I was waiting for somebody to notice. I was like, we didn't play it at all last week, but we did. So we need to give away some Cash App money. We got a few more minutes left here on the live. I know where Richard, or who was it? Norm. Norm is the one who got the mental models thing, right? Norm. Yeah. So Norm, put your Cash App tag in there. The team will send you some Cash App money, but we need to ask a question, Nick, and give some more money away.
Are you asking me to ask a question? Was it? Wow, everybody. You see that that he plays the money song. He makes like he's going to ask a question. He tees the whole thing up. And he says, "So Nick, go ahead and ask a question."
Yeah, Nick, come on. Wait, hold on.
You were fronting like you had a question the whole time.
Oh, wait. There's the section in the notes that says Cash App questions, but then there's nothing there. Uh-oh.
The Cash App question is blank. The Cash App question is blank. You know what we should do is number one, we should just go check the shout out post in the group and see if anybody commented on it.
Let's do it.
And we'll just pick somebody at random because everybody should just be commenting on that post to congratulate Nash anyway because he did his second mailer, 10,000. So we'll just give away some money right off the bat off of that. Yeah, and then the other thing we can do?
Yep.
Did anybody look at that?
Oh, look at that. We didn't even tell people to go there and leave comments.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
I picked him last week though, so I'll let you pick him this week.
I can't. I'm my eyes.
Here, look. I'll tell you some names.
My eyes.
Yeah, there's Darla. There's Sinolv, Eden, Doug, Bob, Marcus, James, Norm.
What are you doing?
I'm just reading off the names so you can pick one.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do that to me? You're gonna
okay, all right, hold on. I will pick them. Hold on.
Just pick 2 names.
Okay, let me make sure I have all the comments visible here.
Oh, Shashan already picked 2 names. I already see him.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Thank you, Shashan. The winners are Sean Sherrod and Doug Page.
Perfect.
And then the other thing we can do, I mean, how much money did you lose at the poker at the casino yesterday?
I didn't play at the casino yesterday. So the last time I played poker was last Sunday. My wife and daughter went shopping and they dropped me off at the casino.
So that's $500 less right there. You're just starting in the negative, right?
So like, this is crazy. I lost $600 because I got aces and kings cracked. Aces and kings by the same guy who called me with totally crappy hands. It was very frustrating.
All right. I was going to say we could give away some more money, but apparently Tom already lost all his money.
No, it was, I mean, hey, that was my when I go to sit down to play poker, my limit is 2 buy-ins. If I lose 2 buy-ins, then I stop because,
Yeah, you're just there's bad juju in the air.
Yeah, well, and my thinking process, the minute I lose the second buy-in, I think I can make this back, right? I can make this. Yeah, I play 1, 2, no limit. It's like
he's
super
on you. You're not even a real risk taker, you small blind.
It's super low stakes poker. It's like the maximum you can buy in for is $300. So it's like I don't go crazy. I don't go crazy.
That's funny. Well, actually,
I saw these guys in the casino the other night though, Nick. The guy bet his entire stack of chips in front of him. It was $3,600. He bet it on the flip of a coin to another player and lost. Pushed all $3,600 across on one flip of the coin. I was like, these guys are crazy.
Put it all in red, right?
Yeah. I was like, that's when you know you have a problem right there. Hey, I'll flip you for this $3,600. I was like, oh my God.
But imagine if you won, Tom. Imagine if you won.
Like, it was. I've seen. It's pretty funny. The few times I've been there to play poker, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. It's like, yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
let's do this. I kept going back and forth in my mind if we should do it or not, but I'm going to do it. We're going to do it.
Okay.
First of all, who here has already picked up our local lead leaks bonus package? Put a me or a yes in the chat if you have. And listen, there's no winners here. Just be honest. If you have, put yes. If you haven't, say nothing. There's no hyping it up. No reason not to.
I was laughing at that. That's pretty funny.
Somebody wants to hear the music again.
Okay, yeah, here, we'll play the music one more time. We didn't play it at all last time.
Yeah, while your comments are coming in, we'll play the song
one more time.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Well, that's
that's pretty funny. So this is what we're gonna do. I don't think we've ever done anything like this before, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna help a few people out, right? Basically, anybody that goes there right now, if you've already bought the front end, you can go ahead and you have to use our link though. You have to use our link because we have to be able to track it. You're not going to be able to do this if we're not able to track it. So starting now from top of the hour, 4:00 Eastern, if you go there and you buy the front end, or if you already have the front end, you want to buy another one, any of the upgrades, we'll pick how many people?
Let's pick 3.
We'll pick 3 people. We'll cover the cost of your product. Or none. So all you have to do is make the purchase. Let us know on this stream that you purchased. We'll check it out and we'll send you your money. And I can tell you right now that nobody bought during the stream yet, which I'm surprised because those case studies are totally worth their weight in gold. I mean, trust me.
Yeah, they're really good.
If you had the amount of information, like if I had that back in the day that saved me the time, I mean, that just saves you so much time. So you'd be silly not to pick it up. No, you do not need to. Well, if you haven't picked up the front end yet, Chandra, then no, you just need to pick up.
You don't
one.
need to buy any OTOs.
Yeah.
Just like we don't do that. Yeah, like we don't do that kind of stuff. Like if you just purchase the front end through our link, then you're good.
I might have just created somewhat of a disaster, but because I know now people are going to need. You're basically going to need to click our link, and then if you want to get the OTO, you have to click the OTO link too.
Basically what you're saying is if you've purchased this bonus, if you've purchased this product, whether you do it now, whether you do it after this live, whether you did it yesterday, just go to this stream in the Facebook group and say, hey, I purchased. And then we will pull all those people out and we will select 3 at random and we will send you whatever it is, $27, $30, whatever it is. Right?
We can do it that way. I was going to take any sales from now moving forward.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody brought just the front end yesterday and then they bought, then they would have to at least buy the OTO
That's so
today.
Confusing.
It is, right?
Yeah, that's too confusing. Just
Oh man.
you're in.
Let me just give you all Tom's bank account and routing number, and you can just have all of them.
Hey, if you want money from me, just play poker with me. Apparently, that's all you need to do. Give me an online game. You'll be set.
Exactly. I bet all kinds of people are trying to meet up at your house to play cards with you now.
Oh, where do you play, Tom?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Look at Cameron says he's going on vacation. Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh man, so silly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Well, man, this has been an awesome live. Oh, hey, I do want to do one final shout out if she's watching. My wife's birthday is Monday, so happy birthday, honey.
Whoa, is she in our Facebook group?
Sometimes they watch the lives.
If she's in our Facebook group,
to see where I'm at. I never know what they're up to during live.
Can you
Like
tag
I
her?
think they've figured out that they have an
tag them?
hour to do whatever they want, right? Like I can't stop them from using the credit cards. I can't stop them from buying stuff because I'm on the live. So I think they watch it and then do whatever it is they do so they know when to be done.
They're spying on you. Wait, I'm wondering if we can tag her. I'm going to check right now.
Oh, I don't know who your husband is, but happy birthday to him.
I don't think she's in the group.
No, maybe not.
No, I was going to say we should all tag her, but not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
anyway, just to be clear, everybody, offlinesharks.com/leak
Live.
leaked live. And if you pick it up, let us know in the stream. We're going to pick a few of you at random and send you your money back. But that's actually not we're just going to send you around $30 just because we want to make sure that you got some value. And yeah, if you've already picked up the front end before you saw this stream, you can go ahead and pick up the OTO, and just let us know, and we'll look up that you actually purchased it through our link. And then I don't know, let's do that for today only. We'll cut it off by today, and we'll pick the winners tomorrow. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Right. Well, awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed this live show. We will see you here next Friday, same time, same channel. And stay safe out there, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.